Hey, Aries! Thank you for stopping by for your February reading. I'm Madeleine, if we haven't met before. Very excited to see you and to deliver a channeled message followed by your reading. So, your channeled message came through as a straight up word followed by a very intense image. The word was molten, the way that lava is molten. And Spirit was like, molten, we're talking movement. Made a lot of sense to me. Initiative. They showed me a visualization as they said the word of the Ace of Wands. So you are a cardinal sign, Aries, meaning you are an initiative taker. You can be cardinal, mutable, or fixed. Aries is cardinal. You're a go-getter. It's time to go for it. It's time to create movement in your life or to go with the flow of that movement depending on how it's showing up for you. So that said, let's see how that idea of your molten lava, your fiery, independent spark, going out and getting some. Let's see. Aries, Spirit gets me every damn time. Eight of Wands is literally, well, it's a wand card, it's a fire card. It's also literally the card for quick movement, lots of ideas and opportunities. Aries, let's do it. I love it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up, Aries. Damn. Ugh. Loud and clear. Okay. All right. Sorry. I get very excited. Okay. Wow. You have Justice over the top of your reading, and that card jumped out a few times. I think 3 times as I was shuffling your cards. Okay. Yes. Ah, I love it. Okay. You gotta be a fool to become a magician, Aries. That's what you need to know. You have pretty great cards. I think you need to be just a tad bit more discriminating. Of course, I mean that in the good sense of choosy. I think you need to be a little bit more aware of who and what is worth your time. Some investments that you've made, it feels like, have paid off. Like, it feels like some of you are getting confirmation that, like, oh, the work and the time and the money I put into this is turning out really well. This is going to work out in my favor. I want to tell you to keep going forward. Eight of Wands, like I said, is the roads are open. The way is cleared. Things are coming in like crazy. And then it's crossed beautifully by the Temperance card, which is a card of flow and balance. I think it's important to note that because we have the 10 of Wands showing up in the potential position. So Aries, you are famous for, eyes bigger than your stomach, metaphorically speaking. Like, oh, I could totally do that. I can take that on too. Hell yeah, bitch. Pile it on. I'll take that too. And that is so admirable. Your courage is one of your greatest qualities. That willingness to take initiative, that willingness to see things, to see things through to the very end. But we're not approaching the end right now. And I would hate for you to, quote unquote, this is the way Spirit is saying it, get ahead of yourself and overburden yourself and kind of like put out your own fire by piling on. Balance is super important. Temperance crossing your reading, literally Justice, the balance scales hovering right above. The decisions that you make right now are really going to reverberate through all of 2020. I'm just going to put it like that because that's how they're saying it. Some of you, feel like some of you may be finishing up. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Spirit is doing this, like finishing up even like a protracted legal battle. Some of you may have been waiting on the lease is signed, the divorce is final, whatever, in order to be able to like fully move on. Some of you, that's what is characterizing February, is like, okay, clean slate, now I get to move on. Fabulous. What do I want? What inspires me? Some of you are writers and speakers, Aries. Whether you consider yourself, like whether it's something you do for work or something you do as a passion, your way of thinking and communicating is being highlighted this month. You are showing up as the Queen of Swords, which is the air element, the mind, the mental realm. And the Queen of Swords is, I mean, she matches up quite nicely with that Justice card, if you hadn't noticed. They have a lot in common. They're here for the truth. Authenticity. And here's the other thing Spirit is saying, are like rules and boundaries are really important. Some of y'all are just so sweet and so childlike that you think that everybody in the world operates the way that you do, like honestly and very forthright. And I'm not trying to, you don't have anything here that worries me in terms of people not acting like you, but this is what Spirit is saying is like, not everybody's like you, so we have to make the rules very clear sometimes. This is how we're going to do things in this organization or in this relationship or in this friendship or whatever. You need to feel free enough to have boundaries. Isn't that a funny little dichotomy? Like, that's a funny way that they're putting it. But your honesty and your, even like your demandingness, if that were a word, are working in your favor this month. Spirit is saying it like this, and this is interesting. So, Aries, you know that you might know that you're the first sign. So when we talk about the zodiac in terms of like the human like growth path, you're the infant. That's the beginning, the initiator, the clean slate, the fool, the one who has everything to learn and has a wide open mind and heart. I said at the beginning of your reading, you've got to be a fool to become a magician. The Fool shows up in your future. The Magician shows up as the key and conclusion card. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Aries. If you've been here a lot, you may have heard me say it before, but Spirit's saying it again. With the Fool card, I'm getting this quote from my favorite Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, who said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Now is not the time to give a fuck what anybody else is thinking and doing. Queen of Swords, you're showing up as the leader. I feel that this is important to say to you because I do feel like you might have some people testing those limits. Whether it's like, can I get away with this? Or what? Really? Like, you want to set this rule? Why is that? Like, I feel like you might get a little bit of pushback. So you really need to know what your lines are and what your principles are. Like, what are my foundational principles? That's what Spirit is saying. Some of you might be building businesses. Some of you might just be thinking, this is what I want my life to feel like this year. And in order to have that, I kind of have to have these basic, like, rules for myself and rules for the people in my life. You're not going to come in here and steal my peace. You're not going to come in here and upset my whole schedule because your emergency is not my issue. Your lack of planning is not my emergency. Don't let anybody make their lack of planning or their lack of attention paid become your emergency, your problem. I feel like some of you, like I said, are really laying out things almost like a contract. That may be literal because I am feeling legal and court system for some of you. For some of you, it might be like, if we're going to make this relationship work, this is what I need. Or if I'm going to stay at this job, boss, this is what I'm going to need. Stand up for yourself. Be very honest. I feel that, honestly, I feel it works in your favor, even if it is a little scary to be like, boss, I'm going to need this much more money, or I'm going to need you to take this off my plate, or else I'm not going to be able to complete XYZ over here. They're giving me both of these things, Aries. As you know, these are general readings. If you ever want a personal, all my info is linked in the little box below. Don't take on other people's shit. Can I put it like that? Can I put it super simply? Don't 10 of Wands yourself. You have such a beautiful 8 of Wands energy right now, ability to make progress, ability to go far and fast when you're honest with yourself, honest with other people, and you refuse to unbalance your scales. And there needs to be enough space. That's how Spirit is putting it. They're referencing this Ace of Wands, and they're saying, fire doesn't, there's a reason we top a candle to put the fire out. It needs air. It needs space. It needs room to grow, to thrive, to build into a more sustainable fire than just a spark. You also, I want to note, Aries, that you have a lot of cards referencing the individual here. So again, what do I want? What do I think is fair? How do I want sort of cornerstones of my life to set me up? You have a lot of power. The Fool in your future tells me a lot of you are going to be making a big leap. I feel some of you are moving geographically with that Eight of Wands. You may be changing jobs. You may be traveling somewhere to like get higher education. The jump that you're making empowers you. That's what I feel. And if you're honest with yourself, Aries, this is just how Spirit's putting it, okay? If you're honest with yourself, Aries, even if you're in a good job, in a good relationship, in a good place, whatever, there is some place in your life that would benefit from a clean slate and embracing and moving on improvement, okay? And like I said, you're in the pretty prime fucking place to do it because the Magician is in that key and concluding position. I say you have to be a fool to become a musician. Maybe some of you are musicians, question mark. You have to be a fool to become a all right. Apparently I can't talk. I lied. You have to be a fool to become a magician because the Fool is number 0 in the tarot. The Magician is number 1. One precedes the other. Okay? And the fact, like I said, that you have the Fool and then it immediately leads to the Magician. Here's what the Spirit is saying. You have the Queen of Swords in the present, Fool in the future, Magician is the conclusion. If you are, I was going to say brutally honest because that's how it was kind of coming through, so I'll just say that. If you are brutally honest first with yourself and then with everyone around you, that opens the roads and makes things very clear to where you can take this leap. Meaning, if you say to your significant other, if you ever do this again, that's a deal breaker. And then they do it, and you're like, okay, I made it as clear as day. I did everything that I could, and now I have every right and a clear conscience to fuck off. Doesn't have to be that extreme. That is the metaphor that Spirit was giving. It can be, I need this from you. Same context, partner. I need this from you in order to feel loved, in order to feel safe, in order to feel free. And then partner does the thing. And then you're like, yes, now I can jump into this big plan that I had or this self-improvement that I've been wanting to do, but I just felt so tired and tied up and my bandwidth was taken up by these issues with this person. But now that we got everything on the table, good, bad, or ugly, now I know how to move on. Now I know what the real deal is and I can choose. The Magician's a manifester. The Magician is someone who can summon things into being by aligning their thoughts properly, which honestly all of us can do, but not all of us feel capable of, and certainly not all the time. You need to know, Aries, that right now it's like your stars are kind of aligning. And what Spirit is kind of telling me, and this is interesting, we're not quite there yet, but soon the sun is going to be moving into your 12th house. I'll make sense of this. Astrologically speaking, right before your birthday, right before the sun enters Aries and then on your particular birthday, the sun, that's when the sun is in the first house, the house of self, the house of like me and what everybody sees and what everybody thinks of me. Right before that, it travels through the 12th and the final house, and then that's why when the sun enters your sign, it's like a new beginning, your personal new year, right? When the sun moves into your 12th house, which it'll be doing around late February and in March, early March, that brings a lot of, if you can think of how people start talking in December when they're getting ready for the new year, because I referenced your solar return, your birthday, Aries season as your personal new year. What do I want to clean out? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to get clear about so that I can have as little unnecessary baggage as possible as I enter my new phase? It's already time for you to be thinking like that. I'm feeling like, I know this is just a reading for February, but this is what Spirit is saying, is this spring is going to be pretty fucking important to you. So March, April, May could bring some pretty significant things. So get excited about that and take February to kind of clear the decks and to open the roads and to set yourself up for success in every which way, like which you do by being honest, and then by throwing away any baggage, bullshit, fear, and going into what you want to go into with an open heart and an open mind. If I wish to improve, I'm content to be thought foolish and stupid. I'm content to be the first one on the dance floor looking silly. I'm content to be the one who warms it up for everybody else so they can get out here and we can all have fun. You're the starter. Go forth and get what you want, Aries, and do it by being kind and gentle and honest with yourself and honest with other people who might, like I said, want to interrupt your peace or throw a few more things onto your plate or whatever. Take a little time to kind of confer with yourself, and Queen of Swords rigorously interview kind of yourself, your habits, your goals, and like, what would Queen of Swords do? If we could get you a rubber bracelet that said, what would Queen of Swords do? That's what you need to keep in mind in February. Again, Queen of Swords is, oh, this is interesting, but this is what Spirit is reminding me of. Makes sense also with all that 12th house stuff. The Queen of Swords in the tarot, every card has astrological significance and like connections, and the Queen of Swords is actually Libra. So, your opposite sign. And also, this is Libra's Libra's tarot card. Justice, and her court card is Queen of Swords. So you may benefit from embracing a little bit of that Libra, peace, quiet. I can get to the truth via diplomacy. I don't necessarily have to come out here, you don't show up as the Page of Swords or the Knight of Swords, which is somebody who kind of just shows up swinging indiscriminately. The Queen of Swords is like, I have my sword right here. I'm amazing at using it, but you don't want to see me use it, so just tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a very powerful, peaceful energy. The Queen of Swords, again, Libra, doesn't want to use her sword unless it's absolutely necessary. So find out where it's necessary to use your sword. I hope and I feel that it will be very few situations, because mostly this month, Magician, you want to be wielding your wand. Do your thing, Aries. Do it big. I love you. I hope that this is helpful. Tell me, do you have stories, questions, comments? You help me when you leave those comments in multiple ways. You help me improve my craft. You help create engagement to grow this little family, this community that we have going, and I would very much appreciate that. And I appreciate you, Aries. Thank you for being here, and if I don't see you in a video before then I hope I see you in your March reading as we prepare for your birthday. Yay! Bye, Aries.